Hi, and welcome to a new tutorial on how to use Logic Pro on the iPad. The first thing we want to do is to either load a current project or something that we have been working on already, or start a new one. To start a new project, I'm going to just tap on the plus sign right at the top of the screen. And this will bring up some templates that I can use to start my new project. I'm going to work with tracks in a more traditional DAW way. So I'm going to just tap on tracks. This will bring up the window to choose which type of track I want to start with. In this tutorial, we're going to first work with MIDI tracks. So I'm going to just tap on MIDI. And as you can see now, I have a brand new Logic Pro session with a new track that I just created. Let's navigate a little bit the interface here. At the top of the screen, I have my transport control. I have my locator and current position, tempo, key, meter, and then I have some extra tools here that I can use. We're going to go through those. The most important ones being count off and the metronome. If I tap on the count off, I can turn it on and off. If I tap on the metronome, also I can turn it on and off. Let's leave it on for now. Here I have the undo option, the help menu, and here I have some extra features that I can access. These are extra control like rewind, forward, the overall settings, and my customization of the control bar up here. Here on the left side of the screen, I can access extra information about either the track or region that I have selected. Down here at the bottom of the screen, you can decide which tools we're going to show up on the left side of the panel. So at the moment I have my presets here, but I can also access information regarding either the track or the region I have selected. And I can look at my channel fader, where I can access volume, pan, mute, solo, or extra information about that specific channel, like the output of the track, if I want to freeze a track, or if I want to have that specific track part of a group. Again, I can turn on and off this extra information by just tapping here, and I can have multiple information available at the same time. Here is my main track view, where I have my track list. At the moment I have one track. My region area, where I can see all my data, the timeline, and I've also access to extra functions here, like creating a new track, duplicating the current track setup, access to the global track view, where I can see markers, tempo changes, meter changes, and so on. And then I have extra information here where I can show the output track, my stereo output track, or customize the track headers, meaning customize what I can see here and access right from here. In general, I think it's good to have the freeze option on. That allows me to freeze the track automatically through this button here. I can also show the input monitoring, meaning if I want to monitor my audio tracks through the iPad directly, the on and off for tracks, and also the track colors. I think these are all useful information that I recommend having on, especially if you close this area and you don't need it. Suddenly you have access to a whole bunch of information right from the track list view window. Again, those can be turned on and off by going up here and selecting customize track header. You can turn off the ones that you might not feel is essential. That will give you a little bit more space in your track list view. At the top of my track list window, I have different options that I can use to edit right here, or to look at different information for my tracks. In the upper left corner, I can switch between the track list view or the loop view. We're gonna work on this later in the course, but for now, let's stick to the traditional list view. Then I can look at my regions or automation layers. Here's where we can do automation for volume, pan, and any other parameters of any other effects that I have inserted on the tracks. Here are my editing tools, so I can trim my region, I can loop it, I can split it, I can stretch it, and then here I have access to some quick shortcuts. This is a multi-select option that allows me to select multiple regions at the same time, and a duplicate region. These are very useful for quick editing. Here I have my grid. I can decide to snap to grid or select to have the grid off. The value of the snap can be either set to auto, which means depending on the zoom level, my snap will change automatically, or I can set it up to a specific value, and I can decide the value right here. I think the auto option is always a good one to start with. Here I have some extra editing options. For example, I can repeat anything inside the cycle section, cut it, copy it, paste it, or insert material where the cycle section is. The cycle section is right here, is this yellow stripe that I can make smaller or bigger, and it has two functions. The main one is to just loop among the two boundaries. So if I press play, when I reach bar 4, it's gonna loop back. But it has also the function of allowing me to do certain editing to all the tracks, and again, that editing capability is accessed right here in the top right corner. And finally, down here at the bottom, we have access to different extra editing options. So if I tap on the pencil, I can access my piano roll view for my MIDI tracks, my instrument view, where I can access all the plugins and instruments that are loaded on each track, and then I can access my mixing board. In the lower right corner, I can access my control panels. Mainly, I have a keyboard to play whatever instrument is inserted on a MIDI track. But I can also access different type of interface, not only a keyboard, but I have access to drum pads, a fretboard for string instrument, a chord strip, very important for sequencing parts when I'm on the road and I don't have a MIDI controller attached to it, and also guitar strips. So this is very interesting because I can access many different type of interfaces when I want to sequence something. When you are on the keyboard, you have the option to also look at your pitch bend, modulation, and velocity layer for when you play the keyboard.